This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to speak about the duties and obligations of the property adjuster, beginning with what is a first-party property adjuster, who of course is the first person an insured meets from the insurer at any time. It is when he has a loss, and there is somebody there to help. An adjuster or insurance adjuster is, by statutory definition, quote, a person, co-partnership, or corporation who undertakes to ascertain and report the actual loss to the subject matter of insurance due to the hazard insured against. This being California Insurance Code Section 14021. A first-party property adjuster is a specialist in adjusting claims brought by a person or entity insured against certain identifiable perils or risks of loss to real or personal property. Insurance companies create, by issuing an insurance policy, a contractual obligation to pay valid claims from those insured. To do so, insurers understand that the person insured is not able to prove the cause and extent of loss without assistance. Therefore, insurers dispatch a person with special knowledge, the first-party property adjuster, to separate fact from fiction, to establish cause and origin of the claimed loss, and to determine sufficient information to enable the insurance company to determine the dollar amounts necessary to indemnify the insured as the policy promised. The adjuster is also present to distinguish the valid claim from a claim for which the insurance company is not liable under the terms and conditions of its policy, whether due to the terms and conditions or exclusions of the policy, or because the adjuster discovers an attempt at fraud. Some policies, like those issued under the National Flood Insurance Program Act, specifically state that the claimant must use his own judgment in estimating the amount of loss, and that the assistance of an insurance adjuster is provided as a, quote, courtesy only. The insured must, therefore, when dealing with an NFPA policy, prepare and submit to the insurer servicing the government program a proof of loss within 60 days after the loss. This requirement must be fulfilled even if the adjuster does not furnish the form or help the insured to complete it. Other than under the National Flood Insurance Program, since the invention of the adjuster more than a century ago, the first person from the insurer that the insured meets when he or she suffers a first-party property loss is the adjuster. The claim adjuster was invented to smooth the claims process and be certain that the insured receives the indemnity promised. How well the adjuster does his or her job will increase the reputation of the insurer and will not only keep the insured as a customer, he or she will add additional customers by word of mouth. Although most adjusters are not trained to be marketers, the professionalism will act as the most effective marketing tool an insurer can have, and will be better than any television ad. Every modern claim adjuster must understand that it is his or her duty to aid the insurer to provide the benefits promised by the policy. An adjuster's duties to the insured do not arise from the insurance contract. The adjuster is not a party to the contract, and he or she is an employee or agent of the insurer. For the adjuster to owe the insured a duty to act with reasonable care, a contractual relationship must exist between the adjuster and the insured. Although not a party to the contract, adjusters are often sued in cases against insurers claiming the tort of bad faith in an attempt to avoid diversity and keep the case out of federal court. In a case where Allstate Insurance Company ratified the actions of its adjuster, named Barry, and her conduct, and explained that Barry's actions as Allstate's in-house adjuster were at issue in a federal action, it was her conduct on Allstate's behalf that the federal jury found to be reasonable in a case called Allstate versus Kennick in 2019 in Alaska. Every person in the business of insurance or who are insured by a policy of first-party property insurance must understand that an insurance adjuster is a person engaged in the business of insurance to investigate and resolve insurance claims. The first-party property insurance adjuster limits his or her activities to the investigation and adjustment of first-party property claims like fire, lightning, windstorm, hail, theft, etc. The duty of the adjuster is to ascertain and determine the amount compensable by the policy of any claim, loss, or damage payable under an insurance contract or affecting settlements of such a claim. Although the employee adjuster does not owe a special duty to the insureds on which the bad faith tort could be based against the adjuster, he or she owes the duty to the insurer employer to treat the insured fairly and in good faith. Although the adjuster cannot commit the tort of bad faith, the actions of the adjuster can create facts sufficient to allow the insured to establish that the insurer breached the covenant of good faith and fair dealing because of the adjuster agent's wrongful acts are still the obligation of the insurer. Consider Grunberg versus Aetna, a California Supreme Court decision. In Texas, an adjuster with regard to acts undertaken in the business of insurance can breach the statutes requiring the adjuster and insured act in good faith and deal fairly with the insured. Regardless of the jurisdiction, the adjuster must conduct himself or herself in such a way that there will never be an issue that the insurer breached the contract directly or through the adjuster's actions. Although protected from individual tort liability in almost every state, an adjuster acting in bad faith that exposes the insurer to a bad faith judgment will probably find that he or she has lost their job. This video was adapted from my book, The Compact Book of Adjusting Property Claims, 4th edition, which is available from Amazon.com. This was also adapted from my blog, Zelma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zelma.com/blog. You can subscribe to the blog, and if you do, you'll receive notice of every blog posting, usually 5, sometimes 6 a week. And you will also have access to the more than 5,000 blog postings. Please tell your friends and colleagues about this blog and the videos so that they too can subscribe. And if you're interested in further detail about insurance, insurance claims, insurance fraud, and insurance law, please consider for a very small fee subscribing to my Substack publications. Thank you for your attention.